On Drive, primary school children in England have achieved the highest reading and writing standards for a generation, according to an international test which places them joint 8th in the world. The progress is being put down to the introduction of phonics, which uses individual sounds and blends them together to make words. Children in Northern Ireland came joint 6th. Scotland and Wales didn't take part in the Progress in International Reading Literacy study. Well, Jolly Phonics is one of the approaches used to teach literacy in schools. Here's how they introduce the S letter sound.
The snake is in the grass, the snake is in the grass. The snake is in the grass.
Well, there we are, all together now. Andrula Stratton is from Jolly Phonics. She joins us now. Andrula, hello.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Very jolly that was indeed. Just explain what phonics is for those of us not familiar.
Okay. Phonics is a method of teaching children to read and write, and we teach the children the letter sounds that the written letters are represented. So children are able to hear the sound, they're able to then write the sound, they're able to then synthesise, put the sounds together to read a word, and then they can hear the individual sounds to spell.
Give us an example, Andrula.
For instance, if you take the word cat, if you use alphabet names, people will say to you it's spelt C-A-T. We would encourage the children to learn the sounds that are represented for each of those letters. So, for instance, C would be K, for the letter A would be A, and for T would be T. So then the children learn those individual sounds. They then synthesise and put them together in order to be able to read a word.
Okay.
That skill then means that if they then come across words that they've not seen before, they are able to tackle that word by breaking down those individual sounds.
And looking at these results, it does seem to be working, but I can remember doing interviews on this programme where there are opponents to this method of study. What do you say to the critics?
Well, the results have spoken for themselves. I mean, we've been publishing phonics material for 30 years. And there has been independent research on the programme that we publish to substantiate the results that children achieve. So boys do as well as girls. Children with English as a second language do just as well. So it's across the ability ranges. So wherever children come from, whatever their background, they are able to learn to read and write quickly and effectively using this particular approach.
I'm just trying to figure out how it's been different in the past. I seem to remember when my kids were at school, it was curly cut and kicking cut.
There are those as well, and obviously there have been other methods in terms of reading to write. There have been a memorisation approach to words where children look at pictures and they have got clues.
But what the point I was going to make there was, is that part of the criticism in the past that when you say, if you were spelling cat and you said curly K, you knew it was a C, whereas if you now just say K, the child could eventually spell cat with a K?
No, we teach those as different, so the children learn to distinguish between the two of those. So there are the children would be able to distinguish when to use those.
Okay, so we've mentioned that it's used in English primary schools, and the results seem pretty impressive. Should it be used throughout the UK, do you think?
Well, I mean, it's now mandatory in the national curriculum, which came into force in 2014. So phonics is commonplace in primary schools. And so schools should be using that particular approach with children in sort of reception classes and nursery classes to give them the sort of best start for when they get to sort of year one, really. OK.
Look, Andrew, just before we go, give us something else. Give us another word that we can think about, maybe talk to I can try and help Anna to spell it later on. So we've done cat. Hang on, we've done cat, we've done snake. Why don't we do something more complicated? Give us a doozy.
Give us a doozy. Oh, there's a very long word that we use in our training session, which can be broken down, and it's actually, I think it's hypo. Oh, I can't. I'd have to look that up and come back to you. I'm terribly sorry.
That's all right. Never mind. In the meantime, here's just a text for you to consider. DS in Durham says, if phonics are that good, why doesn't the word start with an F?
Well, because PH is. It's phonics isn't spelt with an F. PH makes the sound.
I presume if you were learning to
No, we teach children at the very simplest stage, children are taught the 42 simple sounds that the English language makes. English is a very complicated language, so we teach the children the very simplest way to read and to write, for blending and for spelling.
But so if they were learning to spell phonics, they'd go f. But you
no,
would tell them...
no, we would not. That would not be taught at that very early stage.
Okay.
That would be taught as a different spelling. Okay. So we teach the children very simply to begin with, and once they're secure in that basic knowledge, we then add different ways of spelling the letter sounds, because some letters can be spelled in different ways, some have different sounds, and we give the children those strategies.
Andrewla, thank you very much indeed.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. I can't help feeling I've just confused the whole generation.
Well, we're doing this at the minute, and the difficult thing is with the English language in general that they learn the phonics and they learn the sounds, but then they also have to learn what are called, they call them tricky words, which are the ones that just break all the rules, like so many words in the English language do. So it's like with everything else, even though they've got the sounds, they still have to learn things that just go off on a tangent.
I'm just glad I'm not at school.
Yeah.